Early voting in Minnesota's March 3rd primary has been underway for more than a week, and by all accounts, it is going smoothly. But what voters don't see when they go to the polls is a sharp partisan debate over the privacy of your voting data from this primary. In this primary, you'll have to tell election officials whether you are voting either in the Republican or DFL primary. Under Minnesota law, the information you provide when you vote in the primary, which again includes your party primary choice, your name, your address, and your birth date, will be handed over to the leaders of 4 major parties: the GOP, the DFL, and 2 state marijuana parties. The DFL chair doesn't like that and wants to do something about that, and DFL party chair Ken Martin joins us right now. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Esme.
All right, you want a law to take care of this, the data, and protect it. Explain that.
Well, let's be clear. First off, it wouldn't change anything for the voter right now. The only thing this new proposal would do would change what actually happens with the data after the primary election has already occurred. And I think that's a really important point. We've heard an outcry from Minnesotans throughout the state, privacy advocates, editorial boards, and even a recent Star Tribune article where elected officials, municipal elected officials, saying that they're not going to participate in this primary because they don't want their party registration to be known. And that is having a chilling effect on participation, which is the exact opposite of what all of the party chairs wanted in the first place. So we want to actually protect this data and make sure that voters' privacy is ensured.
So if Karen Smith goes to the poll, she has to decide if she's going to vote in the DFL or the GOP primary. Correct. There is actually a GOP primary with just President Trump and a write-in. That information is public and will go to the 4 party offices: DFL, GOP, and the 2 marijuana parties.
Right.
You're one of the parties that's going to get all this information. What are you going to do with it if this law is not passed?
Well, we've said very clearly from the beginning that we don't need this data. The only reason we have to have the data is both parties have a requirement in their national party rules called a recordation requirement, where we have to provide a list of who actually voted in our nominating contest. And it's important to understand the distinction. This is still a party nominating process. We have to provide that to our national parties to comply with that rule. And so that's the only reason we want it. The Minnesota DFL is voluntarily, we've already said, we're pledging not to do anything with that data other than hand it over to our national party so they can verify, in fact, that it was Democrats who were in fact voting in our nominating process. You know, that said, look, you know, at the end of the day, we support Secretary Steve Simon and legislators in both parties who are actually trying to restrict what the parties can use that data for.
And we're going to hear from the GOP party chair in just a few minutes, but you feel that a law does need to be passed to mandate that all the parties, because you're saying you're not going to release the information, right, but you can do whatever you want with the information, as can the other parties.
Yeah, and I think this was an oversight in the last legislative session. I don't think it was malicious, but they didn't put any restrictions on what the parties could use that data for. And that's really unfortunate because we want to make sure that everyone's data is protected, that no party can go out and use that list for whatever they want, that the only reason they should get that list is to comply with their national party rules.
Okay. We just read a bunch of polls out there. The polls are awfully tight. They're all over the map, although it does appear that Bernie Sanders is coming forward and leading in both Iowa and New Hampshire, according to several polls. How concerned are you that there's no clear front runner? I mean, obviously, the DFL's goal, Democrats' goal, is to win back the White House.
Well, look, yes, this is a fluid race. In my time in politics, 25 years, I've never seen a race this late in the stage, a presidential race, so fluid. It is fluid. There's no doubt about it. But I'm absolutely convinced, regardless of who the nominee ends up being, our party is going to be unified. We are absolutely committed to defeating Donald Trump, whether it's Bernie Sanders at the top of the ticket, Amy Klobuchar, Joe Biden, whoever it is. As I say, we're going to vote blue no matter who.
But aren't you concerned that this gives a tremendous advantage to the president? President Trump's campaign is already working very hard right here in Minnesota. They're very accessible. They're getting their word out. They're very organized. They want to win Minnesota, and they're doing that in every other state in the union because they have this advantage. They know that he's got the nomination.
There's no doubt about it. I've said this all over the country. One of my concerns right now, the longer that this nomination goes on for the Democrats, the more runway the the president has to continue his conversation with the general electorate voter, and that's what he's doing here in Minnesota. You know, I don't think anyone should underestimate him or his campaign and what they're doing already to try to flip Minnesota. We certainly aren't here at the DFL. We're taking it seriously, and we're combating him every step of the way. But you're absolutely right. He has an unfettered lane right now to campaign and have a conversation directly with the general electorate, while our conversation is turned inward as we're trying to win these caucuses and primaries around the country.
Oh, well, DFL Party Chair Ken Martin, thank you so much for coming, and we appreciate your time this morning.